Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be checking out these new AWEI headphones. We're going to be seeing how they are to use, how they sound, and if I think you should get them. All that soon to come, but if you guys could please hit those like and subscribe buttons, that would really help me out as a small channel. And with all that out of the way, let's get into this. So getting right into the important part, how do they sound? And actually, surprisingly good. I think they sound pretty solid. They've got clear mids, clear highs, and really solid bass. It's not overpowering, but it's definitely there and you can definitely hear it. And really that's mostly what I look to see, especially at something at this price point. I'll also point out that they do have noise cancellation and that it's actually pretty solid. Their pass-through isn't really as good, but I don't really use that. And really, as far as I can tell, anyone but Apple's is it very good. At least not that I've used. I think maybe Sony or Bose might have a chance, but I haven't used their products, so I can't really speak to that. But overall, that's pretty much what I think of them. I'm going to do a microphone test now because I always like to do that so you guys can see how good the mics are. But my experience, they're pretty passable, and you're not going to be having an amazing experience with the mics, but they're not going to be bad either.
Testing, testing, testing. Say test of the microphone. Okay, so we are now testing the mics. So a test, test, test. This is a test of the microphone. Like I said, it's pretty passable. You can probably hear what I'm saying pretty well, but I wouldn't be recording my next future hit song on this. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that.
Okay, now that we covered kind of the sound, which is always what I like to get right out of the way because that's really the most important part, now let's get into the good things about these headphones. So I think it's kind of interesting. They actually rate their battery life in the actual milliamp hours of the battery. And you know what? That seems pretty fair. It's a lot harder to lie about like that because, I mean, our playtime can be fudged by like playing really low volumes and stuff like that. And especially if you're using noise cancellation or not. Whereas this is pretty empirical as to what the facts are. So I can't really complain about that. But like I said, it's probably going to be a pretty solid couple hours. Obviously, one thing I will say is kind of getting ahead of myself, but the case does have a screen on it. So I think if you're playing on the screen a while, that's going to cut down on the overall length of the battery life. But like I said, I'll get into that a little bit here later. Now, moving on and getting into the big thing, which is the case and the screen that is on the case. So at first, I was like, this seems like a gimmick and it's not very useful. But to be fair, it works and it works surprisingly well. Like you can like drag the screen around and swipe between, basically there's different pages and you can change like volume, control, like you can actually set backgrounds on the screen and dumb stuff like that. There's like a flashlight. So there is some dumb gimmicky type stuff, but there's also, you can change the settings on the headphones and you can change the equalizer. You can change settings about the case itself, like the screen brightness. It does basically, and it has like the Find My Buds, which is kind of similar to like the Find My iPhone thing where it makes them beep really loudly, so that's kind of helpful. But overall, it's like kind of a solid feature, which I'm surprised by because I thought it would just be really dumb. But if you want to change some of the settings, especially with instead of using some like bunk Bluetooth app that might actually stop working if they stop support for it in a couple years or whatever, if everything's in the headphones, it just kind of works. So I'm kind of surprised, but I'd say it's a solid feature and it's kind of cool and kind of fun to play with. Moving on to the bad things. I can't really say a lot. They kind of do what they're supposed to. I think they're listed at like $55 on AliExpress. So I don't know. They're not that expensive. They sound pretty good. Their noise canceling's pretty solid, and the screen is definitely a gimmick, but it does a good job of working. I will say one thing. When you connect them to your phone through Bluetooth, it wants to recognize all three of the items, like the each earbud and the case itself, as different items. And then it's really like it was kind of finicky when I first set it up. Normally it just connects to like the case as one and then they kind of work seamlessly after that. But I will say when trying to connect them at first, it was being a bit weird. So maybe setup isn't the most elegant thing ever, and also depending on the complexity of the device you're connecting them to, it make it kind of hitchy. But after that, I haven't really had any issues. I went to the gym and like multiple times. Like I like tried to like work out with them with running. I worked out with them like just weightlifting and stuff like that. Didn't really have any issues. The noise canceling was pretty solid in the gym and easily drowned out the gym noises and the sounds of like the music they play there. So I can't actually complain about anything really that intensely. The Bluetooth's a bit hitchy, but I mean, if that's the worst, then I really can't be that sad about it. So that kind of gets me into, should you even buy these things? And I'm gonna be honest, maybe. I kind of was really scared about the gimmicky screen at first, but it works pretty solidly. Everything else works pretty solidly. They sound pretty decent, and the noise cancellation kind of works pretty well. So if this is what you're interested in and you think the screen looks fun, I'd say go for it. I will say I don't know about RMAs and like the waterproofing. Like I didn't like take them and try to sweat on them intensely like in a sauna for hours on end. So yeah, if that's what you're interested in, definitely check them out. Let me know how they go. I've got a link in the description, but I will say I don't get paid from that. But they did send these to me for free, so I feel like I got to put that out there. But with all that out of the way, if you guys could please hit those like and subscribe buttons, it really does help me out as a small channel. And thanks for watching.